All right, so today we're jumping into a big question, one I'm sure has crossed your mind. With all the free diet advice floating around the internet, is paying for a personalized plan really worth the cost? We're going to break this all down using some fantastic insights from Dr. Samaya's NutriCare Clinic. You know that feeling, right? You get all excited about some new diet, you give it a shot, and it just feels like it was designed for a completely different person. It doesn't fit your schedule, you don't even like the food. It's so frustrating. And yeah, that's the exact problem we're digging into today.
So here's the fundamental problem. All that one-size-fits-all advice you see everywhere, it usually doesn't work. And why is that? Well, it's because it's missing the most important ingredient in the entire recipe, you. Every single one of us is different. Our bodies, our lives, what we're trying to achieve, it's all unique.
Let me put it this way. Following random diet tips off the internet, that's kind of like trying to build a house by just guessing where the walls should go. It's a total gamble. But a personalized plan, that's your architectural blueprint. Every single detail is designed and engineered specifically for your success. Okay, so we're done with the guessing game. Let's talk about the blueprint. What does personalized actually mean in this context? What goes into creating a plan that's truly yours?
Well, at its core, think of it as a complete nutritional roadmap. And I want to be clear, this is so much more than just a list of eat this, not that. It's a strategic guide that's built from the ground up all around your specific health, your body, and your day-to-day life.
I mean, a real plan looks at the whole picture. We're talking a full 360-degree view. It's digging into your goals. Like, are you trying to lose weight or manage a condition? It's looking at your dietary needs, allergies or intolerances. Then there are your lifestyle factors, your work schedule, what foods you actually like to eat, and of course, your medical history. Every single one of these is a crucial piece of the puzzle. But listen, the blueprint itself is just paper. It's only half the battle. What you also need is the architect, right? You need that expert in your corner who can help you read the plan, make adjustments, and actually build the thing.
And that right there is the huge difference between a static document you download and a living, breathing plan. Having a registered dietitian means you have someone to answer your questions when you get stuck. They'll help you modify the plan as you make progress. They'll teach you why you're doing what you're doing. So you see, you're not just buying a meal list, you're gaining a partner.
All right, let's get to the big question, the money. Yes, a personalized plan has an upfront cost, but let's flip the script for a second. What's the potential long-term cost of not making this investment in your health?
Just look at this number for a second. $4.1 trillion. That's not a typo. According to the CDC, that's how much chronic diseases cost every single year in the US alone. It's just a staggering figure.
And what's driving that unbelievable number? It's largely things like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension. And here's the kicker. So many of these conditions are directly tied to what we eat. They can often be prevented or at the very least managed through better nutrition.
It really brings to mind that old saying from Benjamin Franklin, right? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it's so true. Investing in your health now, proactively with a personalized plan, could save you from an unbelievable amount of physical, emotional, and, financial pain later on.
Okay, so the theory and the numbers all make sense, but what does this look like in the real world? Does it actually work? Let's take a look at some real success stories. So our first story comes from Dr. Samaya's clinic. It's about a patient who is dealing with two things at once, obesity and pre-diabetes. And that, as we know, is an incredibly common and very serious situation to be in. So how they turned it around? It wasn't some random diet they found online. It was a plan specifically tailored to control their blood sugar, with really clear guidelines on portion sizes and a plan to integrate regular exercise. And the result? They actually reversed their pre-diabetics. I mean, think about that. That is absolutely life-changing. It just goes to show how powerful a targeted approach can be.
All right, next up, a completely different challenge. This story is about a patient who is dealing with the chronic, daily struggle of irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. Now for them, the answer was a very specific approach called a low FODMAP diet. But here's the crucial part. It wasn't a one-and-done thing. The plan was constantly and carefully adjusted based on how their body responded to certain foods. That super detailed personalization was the absolute key to figuring out their triggers and just massively improving their day-to-day life.
And our last story focuses on improving heart health. This patient was dealing with two huge risk factors, high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So the blueprint for them was all about focusing on heart-healthy fats, getting more fiber, and cutting way back on sodium.
But the secret sauce? It was the ongoing education, learning the why behind the changes. That's what turns a temporary diet into a set of lifelong, healthy habits. And that's how you really start to make a dent in heart disease.
So when you lay it all out like this, side by side, the choice becomes pretty obvious, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got a plan that is customized just for you, guided by an expert with ongoing support and based on actual science. And on the other hand, you have something generic, unsupervised, with no support that might just be based on the latest internet trend.
Ultimately, what this all boils down to is a shift in how we think about it. It's about stopping seeing a personalized plan as just another expense and starting to see it for what it truly is, a genuine investment in your future self, in your long-term health and your happiness.
And that really just leaves us with one final, simple question. When you strip away all the noise, what is your long-term health actually worth to you? That's a question that really only you can answer.